Hello there. My name is Ms. Zazzarino, and I am teaching English 10 Regents this year. Okay, so my name is Ms. Zazzarino, as I mentioned. This is my second year teaching at Our Lady of Lourdes, and I'm a graduate of Lourdes as well in 2010. And then I went to Fordham University and graduated with a bachelor's in comparative literature. I'm currently pursuing a master's of the arts in teaching at Stony Brook University. I coach the OLL JV volleyball team here, and I have a background very specifically also in addition to literature, in teaching language and English as a second language. I speak both English and Spanish, and I learned Spanish when I was living abroad in Chile, working as an English teacher there. If you ever want to contact me, if any questions or concerns, anything at all about the course, my email is below. It's zazzarinop@ollchs.org. You can write me in English or Spanish, whichever you prefer. So what is the goal of this course? The goal of this course is for students to be able to understand the development of American literature from the Puritan colonial period to the contemporary period. We'll study the American classics, and through that, we'll also develop the skills of grammar, vocabulary, writing, as it applies to communication. The focus really in the 10th grade is on writing. So we'll do a lot of writing workshops, developing the process of writing. It's not just assigning essays. The idea is that we actually develop the skills of writing. And ultimately, the goal of this course and any English course, at least in my opinion, is to encourage children to be lifelong learners, right? Lifelong readers and lifelong writers. I tell all my classes when we start to talk about literature that reading literature itself becomes an experience. It's a representation of experience, and thus reading it, we actually have an experience as we relate to and imagine the lives of the characters. So I really try to stress the importance of reading literature, not just like you're reading a bunch of facts, but to really engage our emotions, our imaginations, our senses, and connect ourselves to the shared experience of all human beings. That's sort of my philosophy. In terms of grading, my grading system is as follows. Homework is 15% of the grade, participation 10%. That can be speaking in class, but it can also be participating in class activities, handing in classroom work. And then I've got this major and minor assignments division. So minor assignments would be something like a small project, quiz, maybe a short writing assignment, versus a major assignment being a longer test on a unit, maybe a bigger project, an essay, something to that effect. But students are always going to know ahead of time how their grade, how their assignment is going to count toward their average. Okay, so as I sort of mentioned, the focus of this course is American literature, and that means writers from the United States. We'll talk a little bit about the history of literature in the United States and literature as we see it in cultural movements. So we're talking about a historical and cultural context of literature in the United States. But we might look through it the view of the Harlem Renaissance, for example, and you've got jazz influencing poetry and just a very American movements that also have to do with literature. If you want to see the course syllabus, it is totally up on Canvas. So I'm not going to go through everything, but you can see that we sort of go by different literary movements. So we've got, oral tradition to begin. Then we go through the Romantic movement in the United States. That includes Washington Irving, Edgar Allan Poe. We'll do some poetry, Mark Twain, the American frontier. We're going to do some modernist stuff. We are going to read a longer novel, which is Of Mice and Men, Harlem Renaissance. So this is for you to look